From Software updated its open-world action RPG Elden Ring, addressing several issues and making various balancing adjustments. Two aspects of Elden Ring PvP that you may have become quite tired of over the previous 6 months. But before we get into it, do me a favor and smash the like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button for notifications whenever a new video is published. Since the game's first release, in late February 2022, Elden Ring's unconventional creators at From Software have been listening to player comments and creating frequent updates to address alleged gameplay faults and increase the RPG's overall accessibility. The game menu is updated when Elden Ring player characters rest at a site of Lost Grace checkpoint. Suppose players have the materials necessary to upgrade the number of charges or the healing effects of their healing/magical energy flasks. In that case, a golden dot will appear next to the flask's menu option. These updates greatly enhance Elden Ring's gameplay and plot by ensuring players won't be confused about when/if they may upgrade their essential restorative resources. They may not be as exciting as boosting or nerfing fantasy weapons and magic, but they are still highly beneficial. For the most part, members of the Elden Ring gaming community have applauded From Software's choice to limit the effectiveness of the Corpse Piler talent, a long-ranged blood splash ability iconic of the Rivers of Blood katana and the Bloodhound step skill. This smoke-veiled dodge ability carries players a long distance. Many players viewed these two talents as excessively powerful in earlier iterations of Elden Ring, especially in PvP. Elden Ring Rivers of Blood katana users must go near their PvP opponents to deliver significant damage because of patch 10.6. Corpse Piler's damage and hemorrhage state buildup are now decreased dramatically at long range. Elden Ring has been available for over 6 months, yet its player base is still quite loyal. Players continue to explore the expansive land between in search of surprises while attempting to complete the game as soon as possible and using various builds. While the buzz and patches have somewhat subsided, FromSoft and Bandai Namco are still working on the game, releasing the occasional update and presumably some DLC in the future. Today, Tuesday, August 9, 2022, following some brief server maintenance, the most recent Elden Ring upgrade, version 1.06, has been released. Patch 1.06 for Elden Ring also adds something new: the ability to send summon signs to summoning pools in multiple areas, including distant areas. From Software says in the game's latest patch notes, players can now help friends and strangers from far away or invade their enemies in a larger area if they see fit. These adjustments include bonuses to heavy weapons and nerfs, the Corpse Piler skill of the Rivers of Blood sword, and the Bloodhound step Ash of War ability. While some subtle improvements, the latest Elden Ring patches feature new quality of life upgrades for multiplayer, summoning, weaponry, and more. While specific gameplay changes are relatively straightforward, others are less so. Players eagerly anticipated the nerfs to potent weapon talents like Bloodhound step and Corpse Piler, for example. Still, other changes in Elden Ring's 1.06 patch are far more subtle and difficult to spot if players aren't actively looking for them. These include minor improvements to certain weapon movesets, removing speedrunners' sequence-breaking flaws, and even a new way to advance a particular questline. Elden Ring's multiplayer has new co-op summoning options. Furthermore, the Bloodhound step talent is modified such that continuous use gradually reduces its effectiveness, requiring members of the Elden Ring to utilize it more strategically. However, these weapon skill changes are only the tip of patch 10.6 iceberg. From Software made many subtle adjustments to Elden Ring's gameplay and user interface. They are causing it to bring the title closer to From Software's original purpose, for better or worse. Co-op gameplay concepts initially featured in From Software's earlier Demon's Souls and Dark Souls RPGs. Prior iterations of Elden Ring had already revolutionized it. Players can quickly lay down from the beginning of an Elden Ring playthrough. Access summon signs using items like the Furl-Calling Finger Remedy and the Tarnished Furled Finger. In contrast, the small golden effigy item enables players to send their gathered signals to Stakes of Marika, which locates outside nearby boss arenas. With a new menu, the players can select whether to send their summon signs to stakes in their current or distant regions. The Elden Ring 1.06 patch increased the utility of the small golden effigy. This new quality of life feature will make it simpler for players to summon co-op partners outside peak playtimes, letting other players avoid spoilers by being called into locations they haven't yet visited. Elden Ring's great weapon movesets have been buffed. Since Demon's Souls, From Software's creators of Souls-like RPGs have attempted to strike a balance between the advantages and disadvantages of using light, sharp weapons versus heavier, powerful weapons. To this aim, the movesets of the Greatsword, Curved Greatsword, and Great Hammer categories of firearms. Weapons have been modified as part of the most recent Elden Ring 1.06 patch to make them more viable for players in both PvP and PvE. With these fantastic Elden Ring weapons, the speed of heavy attacks and some light assaults has risen, and the recovery time for attack movements has decreased. increased. As a result, it is now typically more straightforward for players to hit an opponent and roll away before they can strike back. Elden Ring players now have an easier time using this proto-parry skill against boss foes and other players, thanks to a speed boost for guard counters for heavy weapons. Elden Ring's light rolls have been buffed. The entire weight of a player character's equipment impacts how rapidly they can roll in Souls-like RPGs. From Demon's Souls to Dark Souls 3, Elden Ring's armor and poise regulations are no different. While lighter armor and weapons offer players access to quicker medium or light rolls with longer durations of invincibility, heavy armor and weaponry combined with low stamina will lead players to roll slowly and awkwardly. With the most recent 1.06 update, unequipped players with a high endurance attribute score can proceed farther when using the Elden Ring. The light encumbrance condition boosts the travel distance of players employing Bloodhound Step or Quickstep, making naked speedruns more feasible while somewhat offsetting the nerf from software made to these weapon skills. Elden Ring's Bloody Finger questline no longer mandates PvP invasions. Previously, Elden Ring players had to accept the Bloody Finger PvP item from White-Faced Var, then assault players on other worlds with it at least 3 times to advance through Var's questline and the questline of the Bloody Fingers, an in-game faction obsessed with blood. However, the 1.06 update included a new NPC character that players can encroach on in offline mode. An invasion sign can be found near the Writhe-Blood ruins in Altus Plateau. Var's mission conversation will proceed as if the player has completed the necessary PvP duels or invasions in Elden Ring after fighting Magnus the Beastclaw, a Tarnished who wields a gigantic Greatstar's mace and utilizes bestial incantations. Elden Ring Update v1.06 patch notes for August 9th. The following are the official patch notes and changes shared for the latest Elden Ring update. Additional elements. Added the function to send summoning signs to pools in multiple areas, including distant regions. When sending a co-op sign to distant areas with this function, summoning pools in Mogwin Palace will be excluded. Added the function to invade a larger area, including distant areas. Added a new way to advance White Mask Var's questline other than participating in multiplayer invasion by defeating a new NPC. Balance changes. Added the following adjustments to Greatsword, Curved Greatsword, and Great Hammers. Reduced the time it takes for rolling to become possible after an attack like a jump attack, dual wield attack, and spells while mounted not included. Increased the movement speed of solid attack and charge attack, mounted attacks not included. Increased guard counters motion speed. Increased the attack speed of great axes and reduced the time it takes for rolling to become possible after an attack like a jump attack, dual wield attack, and spells while mounted not included. They have increased rolling distance when the player has a light equipment load. Increased the hitbox of Cypher Pata's weapon skill, Unblockable Blade. Increased the range of Ash of Ward Glintstone Pebble and Glintstone Dark Projectile while decreasing the damage and stagger power. Decreased the travel distance and invincibility frames of Ash of War Bloodhound Step while adding the changes below. Reduced performance when used continuously. Increased travel distance when on light equip load. Shortened the activation interval when using the Quick Step skill in succession, increasing its ability to circle the enemy when locked on, and add the changes below. Reduced performance when used continuously. Increased travel distance when on light equip load. Decreased the damage and bleed buildup of weapon skill Corpse Piler when hit with the bloody attack. When hit by the blade, the damage is reduced slightly. Decreased the target tracking ability of sorcery Stars of Ruin. The new Elden Ring comes in a new patch with much needed updates. What are your thoughts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Before leaving, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications on our future content. With that being said, see you in the next one.